Kanye West did nothing wrong. Since around 2022, Kanye West has been largely criticized and cancelled for his shenanigans, for his anti-Semitism and of course his other activities. But I honestly think that a lot of what he's said and done is very misunderstood and misrepresented. So in this video I'd like to present his actions and comments from a different perspective. At the very start, his comments weren't all that extreme. He talked about the Jewish media.
The red are the executives that are Jewish.
And how Jews control the music industry, the media, and other large industries in America. And he was called an anti-Semite, a conspiracy theorist, and crazy for saying these things.
I didn't realize that it was anti-Semitic to say, hey, you know, I have a Jewish attorney, I have a Jewish record label, I have a Jewish contractor.
But now people would almost largely agree with what he said. Now all of this is almost like common knowledge. This is what people talk about with their friends, with their family even. People talk about these same things on TikTok every single day. And although at times there is some pushback, it's nowhere near the level that Kanye West went through. And there was almost a similar situation with the song Happy Holidays. This song, it was banned everywhere, yet somehow everyone still listened to it and knew it. And I have to say, this is almost like a genius level song, because first of all, well, it's like a perfectly placed trap. It's a very catchy song that's production-wise very well made. It's also a very funny song. It's very ironic for a black person to say, because realistically it doesn't make any sense. Because Nazis are racists who believe in the master race. So does Kanye think that black people are the master race? Or does he think the exact opposite, that white people are the master race? Well, it's none of them. The song clearly is made as sort of a joke, as a troll. And what happened with the song is that, well, like I said, it got banned everywhere. And that raised the question of, well, why this song? I personally have never heard of a song being banned on Spotify for other than copyright issues or intellectual property. Spotify and Apple Music tolerate everything: Satanism, drugs, sex, violence, suicide, you name it, it's all there except this song. And this got people actually talking about the censorship. This problem was even raised on the biggest podcast on earth by Joe Rogan.
But is it good to ban things from platforms, or is it better to let it be out there and let people talk about it? Because if you ban it, then people want to hear it more. That's true. And then it becomes more popular, and then it kind of supports what he says, which is that there's this concerted effort, if you talk about Jewish people, that they're going to remove you from everything.
Even he said, doesn't it sort of prove his point now that the song is getting banned? And from this one event, people now started talking about the censorship and how to circumvent it. He's the one who moves conversations. He moves the Overton window. He's the one who's willing to say the truth and what needs to be said, and maybe what he's just thinking out loud before it's accepted, before it's popular, and before other people are saying it. He moves conversations. He makes conversations happen. He makes people actually think. He says the truth no matter the consequences. He's a truth teller. And honestly, it's nice to see these acts of fearlessness in a world that's controlled by fear and shame. And this almost crosses into my next point about when he went on Alex Jones' podcast and said,
there's a lot of things that I love about Hitler.
When he said this, it almost felt like people were purposely misunderstanding what he said. Kanye West is a Christian, and if you actually took the time to listen to what he said, you could understand what he was actually talking about was the Christian lesson about how you should love your enemy and pray for those that persecute you.
I love everyone. I'm done with the classifications. Every human being has something of value that they brought to the table.
He exposes how people who say that they're empathetic and that they are very loving, and a lot of Christians who say that you should love everyone. He exposed how as soon as that love is met with real adversity, it somehow disappears. We love everyone except the ones that we hate, except the bad people. But the point in Christ's teachings were how love and compassion should extend even to your enemies. And that is of course extremely hard to do. He sort of rage-baits people into thinking about real things like this.
That's why he's the GOAT!
It's kind of similar with his tweets. Isn't it funny how Kanye West is also the world's greatest troll? Because most trolls or shitposters are just some anonymous dorks. But then you get Kanye West, billionaire, AAA celebrity, one of the most famous people of this century. He goes on Twitter and writes, "I love now what bitches, let's see if you give that money back. I say what the fuck I want, pussies. Then he said, ain't nobody ramped up either. This is how I feel, how I really felt, how I will always feel. Then Diddy gets arrested for sex trafficking and he said, Puff, we love you. Yes, maybe they were a bit too extreme. But to me, honestly, they were sort of just funny. But people get so stressed. He's just goofing around. He's a troll. But through his trolling, he also somehow is very authentic. Every other celebrity is very scared to say the wrong thing, to get into any sort of controversy. They are sort of very fake people. But he is on the other side of that spectrum. He completely doesn't care what other people think. The world is so sensitive. No one actually talks how people expect celebrities to talk. No one talks in this politically correct way with their friends or family. And that's the difference between him and everyone else. He's actually real. He's not performative. He's not self-conscious. In a world that's so self-conscious where everything can be filmed and everything can be posted online, everyone is scared to say things. Everyone's thinking how not to offend anyone and what you are allowed to say and what you should say. But he just says what he wants. He doesn't overanalyze every single thing he's about to say or write or post. He just says what he's thinking, and often it's the truth that no one is actually willing to say.
Fortnite balls, I'm gay.
Now that he has apologized, it almost seems like this social experiment has ended. He's released a new album, everything almost seems fine, and this almost shows how fake realistically the outrage was. He was bad, so you were supposed to say bad things about him. Now he's good, so you can like him again. I bet so many people are just relieved that they don't have to hate on him anymore and they don't have to like him in secret. And this just shows almost how cancel culture and political correctness is sort of pointless. Political correctness is just a form of self-discipline. It doesn't really solve anything. This reminds me of the time when Slavoj Žižek talked about this exact thing.
Two black guys, African Americans, they asked me to sign a book, and seeing them there, I couldn't resist the worst racist remark. When I was returning the books to them, I told them, you know, I don't know which one is for whom, you blacks like yellow guys, you look all the same. They embraced me and they told me, you can call me nigger. You know, when they tell you this, it means we are really close.
Like he says, that's the problem with political correctness. It's just a form of self-discipline, which doesn't really allow you to actually overcome racism. It's just controlled and oppressed racism, and it's sort of the same for almost anything else. And so while it's easy to talk badly about Kanye, he might be the only actual real person left. One who actually says the truth, one who moves the conversations and makes them happen. One who isn't scared about what he's going to say, how it's going to sound, how he's going to look. I really love that realness, and I think there's a lot to learn from it. I don't know.